Beautiful people, welcome back. You know it, to another episode of the Ignite Your Purpose show, podcast, vlog. Sorry, sipping some tea. It was damn hot. Sort of messed up my words, and now I think I burnt my tongue. Anyway, on with the program, on with the show. It is a mix of the mental, physical, and that spiritual knowledge, the mind, body, soul trifecta. Something we try and do every day is simply be better than we were before. And we're trying to take people, and myself included, out of that negative, and we vibe with that positive. We're trying to, empower this planet, empower this earth with what I'm deeming, as of about 3 nights ago in a meditation I had, something came to me as an actual grounded energy. There's a lot of lost souls out there. There's a lot of things happening in the multiverse that energies are getting thrown at us, and some are fading into the darkness and some are fading into the light. So let's be the light. Let's be that positivity. Speaking of that, I had a couple engagements today where I was in and out of it was a studio, but we'll call it an establishment. We were doing some kind of co-branding deals with a new clothing line and talking some podcast stuff and also mixing and mastering some beats. So I was in and out. And I got there about 8:30 this morning and probably left there at 6 this evening. And I was dumbfounded because there was a group of, kind of give you a roundabout story. And I know all this because I was going in and out so much. So this group of people that were protesting, that's what this is all about, the protest, the yelling, the screaming, the freedom of speech and all that. But this group, as I would go out, sometimes I was on the phone, sometimes we were talking so I could overhear. Sometimes I just sat there and listened to the interaction between people. So I found out some stuff. So there was 3 females and a gender neutral. Cool. All right, 4 people all together. And they had a TV on them and they had signs and they were protesting farming practices and big farm, protesting everything except for climate. Climate wasn't in there, I was pretty impressed that it wasn't. I thought it would, because they were protesting everything. Cruelty to animals. It wasn't a veganism thing at all or a vegetarian thing. It was just cruelty towards animals, which I completely agree with 100%. I truly also agree. Again, I'm being in the middle on some of these because the world we live in, you have to have a debate. You have to understand people. You have to be not so hard-nosed on your side, whether it's right, left, up, down. I don't know, what right or left means. I'm just trying to say not being so hard-nosed. So they were saying some things that made sense to me, and I agree with. Man, I love animals. And if you don't, you're a crazy person. Like, animals are beautiful. Some of them are crazy mean and they'll kill you, like bears and stuff, but they're still majestic, they're beautiful, and they're put on this earth for a planet. They're put on this earth for a purpose, not a planet. They're put on this planet for a purpose as well. And the way people are going about things nowadays, it's a power grab. So these protesters, some of them were silent, some of them wouldn't speak, which was unique. Like, they weren't trying to get their point across, they just kept pointing at the video screen, which was looping this weird little propaganda type thing together, and that was triggering other people to get in their faces and yell. And some of the females would yell back. And right there, as a Soto Zen practitioner, if we are speaking, we are not listening, right? So there basically was 2 people yelling at each other time and time again. And imagine doing this all day. Do you see how your heart is in the right place? Protesting, I get it, or silent protesting, or sitting in on a protest. The heart is in the right spot. I get that. But do you understand that these poor ladies, for God only knows, 12 hours, right, took verbal abuse. They dished out verbal abuse. Tell me where the positive vibes, the positive energies, came out of that. And again, I wasn't there for the 12 hours, but I was in and out quite a bit, and it was more triggering than actual normal conversation. I seen the police get called in at one point, and then this is another thing that got to me at the end of the day when I went out there. A couple of them were, having a latte and a smoke or whatever they were doing, and what dumbfounded me is, and this is again this new generation, this is an underlying tone, and please try and vibe with me on this one. These people were there 12 hours. I assume maybe it was a day off for them. You know what I mean? Like, how are all these people protesting all the time? How do these people not have jobs? These are some of the questions that go into my mind. And how are these young people that educated on the process? When, you know, I come to find out that she was texting her father, she was talking loud, she was loud talking, you know, so that we could all hear, you know, asking her to top up her account so they could come back, you know, to the other corner next week. And right then and there, I was dumbfounded. Like, you have, you know, trust fund babies. I call them trustafarians. You know, they want to change the world, but they're not putting in the work. And I mean that, but to say this, I'm not saying they're not putting in the work protesting and doing some research, but if all they're doing is out there fighting against something and yelling to be heard, which again, I agree with, but some of the ways I feel that we as a society are doing things are so counterproductive nowadays, and they're pushing out more hate than love. You know what I mean? And in a Soto's mind, I have to come and ask, you know, if you're not full of love, you're not pushing out love. So if you're full of hate, you're pushing out hate. So there's some deeper underlying tones to all these things going around the world right now. There is so much catastrophe and crazy energies going on, but at the base of it, there is so much love to be given. There's so much abundance in this system that I think all of us, whatever side, up, down, left, right, purple, black, pink, yellow, green, brown, we need to step back and maybe not fight it out, but hug it out, talk it out, and listen more, and maybe yell less. Because I feel that those poor girls, you know, and the gender neutral story, at the end of the day, were fatigued. You know, they're in their early 20s, and they just look like they'd been, you know, haggard that day and beaten down. You know, and you should probably come out of these things feeling empowered and wanting to strive on, right? Not like you've been in a 12-round fist fight with Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? So to yell over each other and to basically try and assert dominance over another human, race, culture, creed, gender, none of that works, because the opposite side of that digs their heels in and puts their back up like a cat ready to fight. And we're not going to solve anything doing that, peeps. So that's my 2 cents for today. Ignite your purpose. Let's put out those, hopefully, geez, I hope just spit right in the microphone there. Let's put out those beautiful vibes, people. This planet is full of abundance. Realize that. Truly get down and deep and start going internally, people. That's what we must do. Heal yourself to heal the world. I love you all. You know how we do. We're going to talk more tomorrow, and please tune in. We got nothing but fun times coming ahead. Peace, and I love y'all.